Today at penrepair.com/arcade we're going to be talking about the Genco Horoscope Grandma. We did a video on the Gypsy Grandma, as you can see to the right, but now we're going to be talking about the Horoscope Grandma. You can see they're somewhat similar, the grandmas themselves. Actually, they're very similar, but the animations are in fact different. Where the one on the right, the Gypsy Grandma, actually pulls a fortune card out of the stack and delivers it to the cauldron. The Horoscope Grandma does not do that. She just waves her hand where she's got some playing cards and a magic wand. She breathes, you can see her chest move, and her head bobs back and forth, up and down. The whole point to this is that there's actually two different things that you can do on this one. You can put a dime in and get your horoscope, or you can put a nickel in and get your fortune. If you're doing the fortune, you should speak to the grandma through the vibraphone. As it describes, your voice vibrations choose the answer. In fact, all this is a little metal screen device that's just silicone to the face of the glass. It's not an actual microphone, duh. But anyways, if you're going for the horoscope one, you have to select your horoscope down here, and there's a dial, and you can see you can dial in exactly what you want. You can't dial in your fortune because that is done through the coin entry. But if you're doing a horoscope, you've got to pick who you want for your fortune. Like if we pick Virgo here, and we want to get a Virgo horoscope, I take my dime and I put it into the dime slot. If I wanted a fortune, the setting for this is irrelevant. It does not matter. So let's try a fortune first. So this is a nickel. Let's take a nickel. Get ready to put it in. First, we should ask Grandma a question, like, will I win the lottery? And then drop her nickel. And she does her little thing. You see she's waving her little wand, and you can see her chest move as she breathes, and her head bob. I don't know if you heard it, but the fortune kicked out, and we'll take a look at that in just a second as she gets done with her animation. And then we go down here, and look, the machine dispensed a rolled up fortune, which we can unroll and see what it says. Okay, now it's time for a horoscope. That's on this side, and notice it's 10 cents for a horoscope. I don't know why, but anyways, we'll put it on who we think. We'll try Scorpio, right? Scorpio, sure, why not? And come over here. It's the same animation. We'll put our dime in, and you can watch Grandma again. From a different angle, you can see her animation. And you could hear the carousel on the inside spin, and then you kind of hear that clonk. That's it kicking out the horoscope. So I'll let her finish her animation, and then we'll take a look here. And down here we have, let's see, where does it say? Yep, sure enough, it's Scorpio. So we got the right horoscope. I've heard some people having problems. I don't have any problems with getting the right horoscope, but sometimes people do. This one works really well. I should give you a little history on this machine. Interestingly, I got it from a guy in Los Angeles who was an architect, and he redesigned the Greyhound bus terminal in Phoenix, Arizona, and during in the early 70s. And during the redesign, Greyhound decided that they didn't want their pinball machine, which was a 65 Bally model, and they didn't want the Horoscope Grandma anymore. And it may have been because, you know, at a nickel and a dime, you know, these things probably cost more than that in the early 70s. So he got the games for free, and you can see on the keychains here, I got these little Greyhound tags that came with the machine. So that's the history of the machine and where it came from. If we open up the machine, we can see the carousel system here. This is motorized, and basically what happens is it spins to the fortune selected, or to the horoscope selected, or to the fortune. This is the fortune, and the fortune bin is actually much larger than the horoscope bins, because there's 12 horoscope bins and only one fortune. So the fortune bin holds more of these little scrolls than the horoscope, because there's like a 1 in 12 chance that anybody would pick a particular horoscope. And then once the one is determined, this right here fires. It's like a pin. There's a coil which puts it up, and then it kicks it out like that. And that's how it dispenses the scroll. Now, one thing about these is that reloading them individually is kind of a pain in the butt. I mean, if because it's easy to get them skewed. They got to be like this. Maybe they get like that or get mixed up. And when you buy these things, or at least when you used to buy these things, they would come in bins with a rubber band around them. So they'd come in a bin of like 25. This one is Sagittarius. And you would take the whole 25, including the rubber band, insert it in here, and then once it's in there, you'd cut the rubber band and pull it out. And that's how you would properly load the scrolls, opposed to putting them in individually. The problem is on some of these, the rubber bands have deteriorated. But you can see I've got a bunch of original horoscopes back here, and a bunch of original fortunes back here, and a bunch of original horoscopes. But there's guys that sell them too. Like here's some reproduction scrolls where you can get them. And also there's a guy selling the reproduction horoscopes too. So you can see you can buy 250 of them for $25. So reproductions are available. So let me show you how this works with the door open. What I'll do is I'll hit a fortune. Again, we can turn to the fortune we want, and let's just pick one. Let's pick Cancer. And then what we do is we hit the horoscope switch here. I'll just press it, and you can watch the thing spin the carousel and then dispense it. See, as it goes around and the animation's running, and you can see that it kicked out Cancer. Sure enough, it gave me Cancer. Then I can put it back in here because I don't need it. And Grandma's doing her thing up there with her animation. So that's basically how it works. I'll do it one more time. You can just watch it. That would be, again, I'm doing a horoscope. So it spins around, waits till it sees the one you want, and then it's going to kick it out when it finds it. Oops, man, it really sends it flying too. And again, we get another Cancer. So, and Grandma again is doing her thing. That's basically how it works. It's fairly simple, but it is a much more sophisticated system than the Gypsy Grandma that we talked about in the other video, where there's essentially no relays and very little motorized stuff other than the Grandma herself. The Grandmas now are pretty close to the same if you look at them. The dresses are slightly different, but not much. And this one is pretty original. Things that I know that aren't original is like this top lid is not original. This plastic, it was deteriorating, and I had to buy a reissue. And these are available. Pretty much everything else is original on this machine. Yeah, I mean, the guy kept it in really good condition. So this is a good example of the actual machine. And here you can see the mechanisms. There's a 5-cent coin mech and a 10-cent coin mech. There's our selector unit, goes down to the coin box down here, and then there's some relays. As far as getting it working, I had very little issue getting it going. It was, again, these are not all that complicated. It's just when people get in here and they decide to make modifications and hacks, that's what generally causes you the most problems. But anyways, let's show you the inside of the Grandma. Here she is naked, and I just have her connected to 120 volts because that's her motor voltage. And you can see her animation. Here's her chest breathing, a little apparatus that makes her chest breathe. See how it goes up and down? And then of course she waves around her little wand. You know, when the cards come down, She points to him. And of course she moves her head. And she moves these guys too. It's kind of interesting. So I hope you enjoyed our video of the Horoscope Genco Grandma. Again, a very popular horoscope fortune teller style machine, mostly due to its size. It's not a big unit. And next to the Genco Gypsy Grandma, these are probably the two most popular fortune tellers from the 1950s.